Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie and I make videos about living in Copenhagen. But today I'm continuing with my documenting of the coronavirus in Copenhagen in Denmark. Today is Monday the 20th of April, and it's the day that my son's going back to school. Now, some schools went back last week, but he goes back today, and as I promised in my previous video, which you can see up here, I'm going to tell you and show you what today has been like for him. Also today, on the 20th of April, what they call the liberal professions are going back to work. So that's beauty parlours, hairdressers, surveyors, physiotherapists, massage places, beauticians, all those kinds of things are going back today. They have lots of rules about how they can work and how they can be close or not close to other people when they're there. But yet today is the day. My son's a little bit apprehensive about going back. It's a little bit of the unknown. We've had a lot of information. They're having a staggered start. Normally he starts school just after 8 o'clock in the morning, but they're staggering each grade going through. So as he's in 4th grade, he will be starting, he'll be picked up outside in his playground at between 9:40 and 10 o'clock. So we got to have a little bit of extra time in bed this morning, which was nice. So he will go in. What they've been told is that they're going to be in small groups. I think there's about 10 people going to be in his classroom with a teacher that he knows. They will have one desk, they will stay at their desk, they will have their own things, their own books, their own pencil case and their packed lunch, and they will eat at that desk. They will be divided up into small, what they're calling play groups, and it'll be the same children each time, and that will be like their friends, and that will be 4 or 5 children in those groups. So we're going to head off today on public transport into the city to where my son goes to school. I don't think I'm going to be able to film any actual footage at the school because I don't have the permission to do that, but I will definitely capture some shots as we go in, and also talk to you again after I've dropped him off, and then later this afternoon when the day is over, and we can tell you more about it. Now, as I said in my previous video, I know a lot of people in other countries are very interested in how it's going for us. I think Denmark, Austria and one other country have been the first to kind of start opening up, so I know that a lot of people want to see what it's like here. So bye for now. I will come back later and tell you what the drop-off situation was like, and then later on in the day, but I'll see you later. Right, well, we've just travelled in on the metro from Amma where we live, and quite frankly it was quite tough. People weren't really social distancing, it was quite busy, but we did the best that we could to do the right thing. We're keeping right, we're on our way down to the next metro line that we have to catch. It's a lot quieter here, hopefully it'll be quieter on there as well. We've now arrived near my son's school. We're about 5 minutes early for his meet-up time, so we're going to sit in the sunshine. It's a beautiful day, which is really good because they're going to spend a lot of time outside today because it's more healthy to be outside in the fresh air, so they're going to be doing quite a bit of that. As we've been walking up, we've seen children in small groups in playgrounds, so you know, there's a lot of outside activity. They're just going to be concentrated on some maths, some English, and what they're calling well-being, which I think is going to be outside playing in those small groups that I mentioned. So I think that, yeah, we're lucky that the weather's so glorious today. But we've got 5 minutes to wait. We're going to sit here for a bit, and then we're going to head up. So I've dropped my son off at school. It all went fairly well. They had roped off areas where children were gathering to go up to their classrooms. They had cones on the floor, and you were supposed to stand on a cone. Of course, children, you know, they're excited, they're ready to see their friends, so some of them were probably getting a little closer than they should do, but the teachers were like, stand back, stand on your cone, and they all went up to the classroom, and he waved goodbye and seemed quite content going in. I think he was happy to see familiar faces, you know, like his best friend was there already, and the teachers, his class teacher and his class pedagogue were there. Everyone was very happy. The head teacher was there greeting people. I noticed some parents weren't maybe social distancing as much as is recommended, but on the whole I think it went fairly smoothly this morning, and yeah, I'm confident that they've got it under control at the school. Later on when I pick up my son and he gives me an update, I'll be able to come back to you. Now, I've made a decision not to feature my son on my YouTube channel, so you won't get to see an interview with him or anything like that, but he was, sorry, there's a big bird behind me. There's a big bird behind me, but yeah, I shall just ignore it. It's just a pigeon. So yeah, I thought I would catch up with you here. This is a beautiful little park that runs alongside one of the main roads that goes into Frederiksberg. I thought that the blossoms, if you can see around me, I thought the blossom trees were already going to be out here, but they're not. So, but it's a nice place to sit. Now I'm going to head off home. I'm going to go via a florist which is across the street over there, which I hope is open, because I would very much like to get some pretty flowers to brighten up the house with a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and get myself a very nice sticky pastry at the bakery if it's open, and then catch the metro home. But as I say, I will come back to you later this afternoon and let you know how that first day went. But yeah, I think it's going to be okay. For those of you watching in countries where your kids haven't gone back yet, only time will tell whether this strategy is going to work. There's a lot of criticism from some parts of the society saying that it's too soon to be opening up, and is it going to cause a spike. But as of yesterday, now of course over the weekend figures are slower to be updated, but as of yesterday just over 300 people have died of coronavirus in Denmark, and the number of people in hospital, and particularly those on ventilators, is rapidly going down. The testing is being ramped up as well. A friend of mine had some symptoms and she went to Hvidovre Hospital, and she waited in the car park with, she was given a time to get there. She waited in the car park with a number of other people, some of whom she said looked pretty ill. She's got very mild symptoms, but her doctor wanted to be tested because she has a history of like chest complaints like pneumonia and such like. So she said she waited social distancing with people. She was called up to a hatch. They took a swab down the back of her throat, which she said made her gag a little, and they had like a hatch that they lifted up. They spritzed the hatch before they opened it. They opened it for her, did the swab test, then spritzed it all afterwards, and she went home, and I think she should get the results today. She said it was 3 days before she gets the results back. So you know, they are ramping up testing here, and it is going a little faster on that. But as I say, only time will tell how this is going to pan out for children and society in general. But yeah, I'm going to head off to the florist, get my pastry and get home. So the bakery was open. I was able to get a pastry. I'm just going to cut through Frederiksberg Centre. Now, as you can see, it says that the pharmacy is still open in Frederiksberg Centre. And so let's, oh, and it says also the supermarket is open. Now look, can you see these bears in the window? Hello, waving. The big insurance company called Trug here has got this campaign. I've seen it on social media, and I've seen people doing it around our way, where they say put your teddy bear in the window. So it cheers people up when they're going past, and I've seen a lot of people around our way have got their Bamsa, their teddy bears in the window, which is nice. But let's head into the shopping centre and see what it's like. It's really quite quiet, but normally at this time of the day Frederiksberg Centre would be packed with shoppers, people going all over the place buying things, in the supermarket, etc. But it looks like it normally looks first thing in the morning before anything is open. So it is pretty quiet in here, and I've noticed that a lot of people are moving to the side and giving people space, which is positive. Supermarkets open, pharmacies open, and that's about it in here. Shopping malls will continue to stay closed, until it's decided to open up Denmark a little bit more, and then they will also open up. So here we go. I'm going to head on down to the metro. Now I've shown you around here. It looks, yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit apocalyptic, you know, absolutely empty, but it doesn't. It says here, oh, you're only supposed to be one person shopping at a time. Look after yourselves and look after us. When you come, only one person per shopping trip. So you may make more space for other people. Now I've got enough stuff at home. I don't need to going to the supermarket today, but that's actually quite interesting. That's the first time I've seen that, which obviously means that Frederiksberg Centre is the food text here is obviously gets quite busy, that they've had to put that on. Now I'm going down on the metro. I'm going to get on the metro that goes directly back to my stop, but that was the one this morning that was a little busier than the other, but I'm gonna have to get on it anyway, so let's go. Right, well, it's the afternoon now and I've just collected my son from school, and I thought I'd give you a quick update on how it went. All the things they said were going to happen did happen. So they did have separate desks, they did go out in their play groups, they ate at their desks, all the things that we were told were going to happen. There were of course a few teething problems, a few miscommunications, but I think they've all been ironed out today. And as predicted, a lot of the children didn't seem to really understand or respect the guidelines of social distancing, so I think that's definitely something they're going to need to work on. But one thing I would say is that the message obviously has gone to say that schools are now open, but it's not saying that it's opening up Denmark completely. Yes, some places, some like the hairdressers and everything are open, schools are open, but that doesn't mean that Denmark is open in the same way. Yet people are everywhere, people are not social distancing, the transport is busy. Everywhere we went there were lots and lots of people, and it was difficult to social distance from some people, and you know, we can't relax this just yet. Yes, this is a gradual reopening. It's not like just saying now everything's as it was before. We've got to continue with the social distancing, we've got to continue with washing our hands, we've got to continue with only using public transport if we really need to. Only, you know, when you're on public transport, if it's too busy, get off and get the next one. Whilst this is a bit of an extreme analogy, I read somewhere yesterday they were saying that, you know, so social distancing and all the measures that we put into place are working, so now we can just stop them, is a bit like saying, you know, I jumped out of an aeroplane and my parachute was working and it broke my fall a bit, so I'm going to take it off completely. We can't take our eye off the ball with this, and I think that's a very important message. And I would urge anybody who's got their kids going back to school this week or last week, you know, really impress upon them. It is important to do this social distancing. It may sound, again, you know, a little bit sort of extreme, but to, you know, if my son caught it and then passed it on to me and I was asymptomatic and I was travelling and quite, you know, by chance I managed to pass it on to somebody who was in a vulnerable group who was out travelling, then that's the responsibility we all have for everybody else. So it's really important that people do continue to do that. But I'm hoping that there will be more structure tomorrow when he goes back, and that people are going to be a little better perhaps with the social distancing things. But you know, so far the first day, you know, there were going to be some teething problems and we did experience those, but I think that, you know, it's a steep learning curve and everything's going forward. So yeah, onwards and upwards with this. Anyway, as I say, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do subscribe to my channel, click the bell button if you want to know when there's a new video, and give me a like if you've enjoyed it. And also let me know any questions you've got about the situation here going forward, and anything about Copenhagen in general in the comments below. But until next time, bye for now.